Both sides of a story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. 106.
What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode?
I have a dream.
I still have a dream.
That someday
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
hand in hand.
I have a dream.
I have a dream that someday this will be a better land. Baby, you can see the meaning. Baby, you can see the dream. But I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream.
I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday this is going to be a better land. Maybe you can't see my meaning, you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream. Oh, how sweet the words of love and peace sound to our ear. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say these words, not enough are sincere. Oh, the words of freedom, liberty, stand in my soul and my mind. Tears come to my eyes, and I realize just isn't blind. Oh, I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that some way for our children this will be a better land. Now maybe you can't see my meaning, and you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream. Say it. Oh, my dream come true for me and for you. Dream, the impossible dream.
I have a dream.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 15th day of the 11th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 15th day of the 6th month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, and the National Meteorological Service here in Jamaica is reporting that there's a weak trough across Jamaica. And remember, when you hear the word trough, think cloudiness, think showers, think thunder showers. And if it's a weak one, then we may very well not be impacted too significantly. So there's a weak trough across Jamaica. And that trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. This afternoon will become cloudy with showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across sections of southern parishes. And tonight, partly cloudy. The Met Office is also bringing to our attention a cold front across the northwestern Caribbean and a high-pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. The month of November is a busy one, as we've been sharing with you the various observances. November is Science and Technology Month, Youth Month, Parents Month, Local Government Month, Rural Development Month, Diabetes Awareness Month, Epilepsy Awareness Month, Drug Abuse Awareness Month, Food Month, Eat Jamaican Month, Alzheimer's Awareness Month, CARICOM Energy Month, Kiwanis Family Month, and Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Meanwhile, this week is usually observed as Global Entrepreneurship Week, and we don't know what the status is of Restaurant Week, but in the past, it usually falls around this time. Today is also Peace Day in the Ivory Coast, properly known as Côte d'Ivoire. The King's birthday is being commemorated in Belgium. Proclamation of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus in Cyprus. Proclamation of the Republic in Brazil. And Shichi-go-san in Japan, 753. Shichi-go-san. In Mandarin, that would be Chi-wo-san. Very close. Almost identical. It's America Recycles Day in the United States of America. Hoy es lunes el 15 de noviembre 2021 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
But I'm sure someday you'll understand.
C'est lundi le 15 novembre 2021. Et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. What we're saying is it's Monday, the 15th of November, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Mowing Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks, and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and much more. Check out the new arrivals of ties at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Mowing Madness sale at Home and Things, Wallop Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable prices this low. You think we're going insane?
Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Monday and Tuesdays and Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM.
You can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream. Oh, how sweet the words love and peace sound to our ears. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say these words, not enough are sincere. Oh, the words of freedom, liberty stands up.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, downloadable from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free whenever, wherever. We thank you if you're one of those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the United States who'd like to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-3 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953, 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will not only be able to hear what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM, but you'll also be able to see what's happening via Facebook Live. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. All you need is a smartphone or a not so smartphone, a tablet computer, a laptop, a desktop, otherwise known as a PC, personal computer. Any one of those will do. And the next step after that is to ensure that you have internet connectivity. Once you have internet service, find a browser like Google Chrome, Safari, Bing, any one of those. And if you're doing that now, then you should see this video trending on YouTube. If you're not seeing it, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story on YouTube. How about that? We'd like to use this opportunity as well to remind you that the lines are always open to you. Feel free to call us on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Those numbers vary sometimes in terms of which ones we announce, depending on what's happening in terms of the broadcasting schedule. We also would like to remind you that the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, and it also acts as a straight line if you want to get to me directly. That number is 876-365-3346. That's the company cell phone assigned to me, 876-365-3346. And we're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat, all up. Oh, did I mention TikTok? We're there too, although we haven't posted anything since the first post a long time ago. Anyway, you have options. How about that? Please indulge us as we say a very special thank you to the members of the Jamaica diaspora, Southern United States, who put on quite a show over the weekend. More than a show, it was a tribute to stalwarts in the Jamaican diaspora, South Florida, and not just South Florida, but about 12 other states. So it really was widespread recognition of some great Jamaicans who have been doing great things in the Jamaican diaspora. We're delighted to have shared emceeing duties with Faye Audrey Ellington. That's why her Faye is spelled F-A-E. It is never F-A-Y, F-A-E. The F for Faye, the A for Audrey, the E for Ellington. Hello to her mom, to Faye Ellington's mom, Miss May, who is in Smithville, in northern or north central Clarendon, in that region. Hello to you, Miss May. We know you're one of our regular listeners. We haven't exchanged words in a little while, but we look forward to being in touch with you pretty soon. In the meantime, on this Monday afternoon, collect your thoughts, and we're happy to hear you express yourselves on matters of national and international significance, and even the most granular subject matter, which is causing debate where you are. Thanks again to Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis and her husband Albert and the children and all the other individuals, Steve Higgins, tenor par excellence, and his spouse, and June Minto. Sorry we couldn't take you up on your offer. We're sure we would have enjoyed our time at that big event, Jerk Fete, which is not exactly a substitute, but pretty much stood in the place of Jerk Fest, which has once again been put off due to COVID-19. If you're wondering where we are and what's happening, well, I'm at my favorite place, home. I'm in home quarantine. Yes, indeed. Home quarantine, that's what it's called. Right. And so I'm supposed to serve 8 days in quarantine. But if I do the PCR test and it comes back negative, then that is reduced to 3 days. So what did I do this morning? I did the PCR test, and the result will be known in a couple of days. And then that will determine how much time I stay in home quarantine. We take this business of healthcare and welfare and just a general level of consciousness with respect to this pandemic very seriously. And so we're following the protocols and doing what we have to do. Mind you, we hope we'll get to the point one day where we can enjoy free PCR tests. I did a free PCR test when I was in Florida. I did that test on Friday, and that came back negative. Right, there was no charge for that PCR test because the particular state stroke city wants to ensure that its citizens don't have any barriers, because one of the things we struggle with is barriers to certain things, barriers to vaccination, barriers to getting a PCR as opposed to an antigen test. So I've been sharing my experience on this program. So I did the antigen test since that's one of the tests approved by the United States of America or accepted by the United States. So I did the antigen test before leaving Jamaica, and the results were emailed to me. And that information I then had to share with the airline, uploading via an app. And it's, I don't know if it's the same app for the other airlines, but the app that I use to upload the information is called Verifly, Verifly. Get it? A cross between verify and fly. Yes, Verifly. Right. So that's what's happening. I'm in my home library, my study, my office, my favorite place, actually. And it's good to be serving you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad, from this position. Very good to be in this position. My favorite place, home. Bratislava Borivodjova says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. To you too, Bratislava Borivodjova. And thank you for tuning in. Junior Jabari, good afternoon. Where are you joining from? Junior Jabari was asking. Well, now you know. I'm at home. Home, my favorite place. Leotine Bryan says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. Good afternoon, Leotine Bryan. God is good all the time, says Leotine Bryan. In everything, give him thanks. Amen to that, Leotine Bryan. Audrey Smith says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. Happy and blessed week to all listening from Southampton. Take care. And you do the same, Audrey Smith. Lorna Foster, good afternoon to you too. And we accept afternoon greetings on behalf of our listeners all over the globe on your behalf. Delphi Duncan says, good afternoon, Dervan. Blessings to all the listeners. May we all continue to lift up each other with kind words. Indeed, that is the hope. Ricardo, who communicates with every single radio station in Jamaica, is also greeting us. Good afternoon, Ricardo. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the experience. Tina Williams tells us she's hailing from Savannah, Georgia. She says, hailings from Savannah, Georgia. Hailings to you too. Yes, Georgia is still on our mind. Still on our mind. Yes, Georgia. We haven't been to Georgia in a while. We'll see. Let's see. Albert, thank you very much. Mas Albert was everything in Florida. Just doing everything possible, supporting not just his wife directly, but supporting the entire Jamaica Diaspora Southern USA movement. Charlton Chance, it was good to see you. I'm sorry, I've hardly seen a close-up picture of you, Charlton Chance. So I really thought the last time I saw you, you had hair and that you were following my hairstyle, which is no hair. Good afternoon to you, Charlton Chance. Neriga Smart Morgan 7, good afternoon. And thank you very much. Oh, wow, love that library. She says, a bit overcast here in Ramble, St. Thomas. However, I'm in class, so please put a P beside the name Neriga Morgan. We will mark you present, and we will have to stick a pin right there, as my late mother would say, and come back with Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. It's not just the vehicles nor the competitive prices. It's about the experience. It's the joy you get from knowing you're conducting business or vacationing in a safe, comfortable, and convenient way. Karen Car Rental and Tours provides pickups and drop-offs with a well-trained chauffeur. Karen Car Rental and Tours, 14C Cargill Avenue, Kingston, and Lot 36 Bustamante Highway, Mapen, Clarendon. Call 876-613-3074, 754-2023, or 578-2178. Karen Car Rental and Tours.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Mowing Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks, and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and much more. Check out the new arrivals of ties at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Mowing Madness sale at Home and Things, Wallhope Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you think we're going insane?
Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with, anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call, which just want to make sure we have the right set of numbers for this segment, and we're going to get those numbers in just a moment. I think we're going with, is it 922-411-3-5? I believe so. 876-922-411-3-5. Those are the numbers to call. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria at landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number. The text line for Land Solutions, which doubles as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead to make an appointment. A lawyer will be on duty on Thursday. Every Thursday, there's a lawyer on duty. And the hours usually about 10 to 1, I believe. Yes, about that. If there's any correction to the time, this afternoon's host of Land Solutions will tell us. And so let's say good afternoon and welcome to your host on Land Solutions this afternoon, attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Hello, Dervan. Hello, listeners. Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Land Solutions. As Dervan just said, I'll be your host for today, Calicia Findlay. And yes, Dervan, you are correct. We are in office every Thursday in Ocho Rios between the hours of 10 and 1. And don't worry, we won't leave until we have seen everyone. So feel free to come in anytime between 10 and 1 on Thursdays. As always, feel free to send your messages or to call any questions you have in relation to land matters, estate planning, and estate settlement. I have quite a few messages, so I'll jump right into them. Someone wants to know if it is possible for them to still probate their father's will because the only thing he owned, she says, I'm assuming it's a woman, the only thing her father owned was an old 30-year-old Toyota. Do I still have to probate the will in order to sell it? Yes, because since your father has died, he has left a will. The law says to transfer ownership legally, the executor will have to probate the will. Once the will is probated, the executor steps into the shoes of the deceased person. They're now their personal representative, and then they can go ahead and distribute the person's assets, sell, act in accordance with what the person wished. In this case, however, as the person says, the only asset is an old car. So you have to think about it a little bit. Is it practical to pay an attorney to probate the will? Because in a case like this, since this is the only asset for a 30-year-old car, Toyota, I'm not certain what the value would be. It may not be much, maybe $100,000, a couple $100,000. I could be wrong, but it certainly would not be a lot. So when we're probating, legal fees generally 8 to 10% of the value of the estate, but there's usually a certain amount that most attorneys don't go below. So in a case like this, it may very well be that the legal fees to probate this particular will may end up being more than the assets or the assets are worth. So that's something this person should think about carefully if it's something worth undertaking. So it's a very good question. I remember having a case one time where someone died. Their only asset, I think, was a bank account. And when they were able to do some checks, they realized that it was only like about $20,000 in the bank account. That was the only thing they owned. Of course, legal fees to probate the will exceed, or they're more than $20,000. So in that case, the person decided it wasn't worth it to probate the will. So these are considerations. These are matters that you need to take into consideration when deciding whether to probate a will. Over to our WhatsApp line. I signed an offer to purchase a house for $7 million. And now the seller is saying he's only going to sell me for $7.5 million. Is this legal? It is not illegal. It may not be the morally right thing to do or the ethically right thing to do, but it certainly is not illegal. The offer to purchase is completely different from the agreement for sale. So the offer to purchase is usually a standard form. Someone is offering their property for sale. The person interested in buying it signs the offer. The seller signs the offer, and then it is sent over to the seller's attorney for the attorney to prepare the formal contract. As a buyer and a seller, you are only under contract once both of you have signed the sale agreement and the purchaser has paid a deposit. In fact, nowadays, if it's a good offer to purchase form, the first thing it will state is that the offer to purchase is subject to the preparation of an agreement for sale. So in this case, where you both signed the offer to purchase, but the agreement for sale had not been prepared, the seller has every right to change his mind. It's not the nicest thing to do, but it can be done. And what I see happening quite often is that sellers will have different offers out there to different people. So you may have one offer for $7 million, another one for 7.5, another one for 8. And usually it's a race to see who can pay their deposit first. It's not the tidiest way to go about doing business, but many sellers do that because on their end, they want to see who will be able to pay them the most money. So for a purchaser, if you are in a situation where you have signed an offer, my advice to you would be to act quickly. See if you can get in touch with your attorney as soon as possible. Have them contact the seller's attorney so you can be under contract, meaning you can have the sale agreement signed and the deposit paid as soon as possible. Because what happens sometimes, you see, is that the parties will sign the offer to purchase and then several weeks go by and there is no contract. And once you have not signed that sale agreement, it's fair game for someone else to come in and pay a deposit. Continuing with our text messages, and again, our numbers to call in live on air. I think the correct numbers this week are 876-922-411-325. Again, that's 876-922-411-325. Someone has started to pay taxes for land I own in the country. Bear with me, this is a two-part message, so I have to be scrolling. Someone has started to pay taxes for land I own in the country. I think they want to try to claim it. How do I find out who's paying it and how do I stop them? I don't know that you can find out who is paying the taxes. That's not information the tax office will release to you. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. No. And you really can't stop anyone from paying your taxes, you know. I can start paying someone else's taxes right away and vice versa. What you perhaps need to ensure is that you are current with your property tax payments. If you're current, let's say you go to pay your taxes and they tell you this year's taxes have already been paid by someone and next year's taxes have already been paid by someone, still pay an amount, tell them you want it to be put towards whatever is coming up after a payment has been made. So if you've gone to the tax office and taxes have been paid by someone else for 2022 to 2023, tell them you want to pay for 2023 to 2024. But what you also need to do, and perhaps more importantly, is to investigate what is actually happening on your land. And you are correct. Many people sometimes start paying taxes on someone else's land because they think by doing so, they can claim the property. And also they start paying taxes because they are actually occupying the property and they want to go ahead and make an application for the title. So see what's happening on your land. Is someone squatting on it? Is someone farming it without your permission? If you go and see that that's happening, you need to take steps right away to get them off your property. If someone is there, and I know what it's like. A lot of times people are aware that someone is occupying their property. They may not be there for a long time, but they think it's safer to have someone there on the property because we know what happens when properties are left unoccupied. If someone is there or you want someone to be there to take care of the property, enter an agreement with them. A simple rental agreement, a simple lease agreement. Everybody by now perhaps knows the term peppercorn rent. If you don't want to rent it for market value, let them contribute something nominally. $100 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever you think you would be satisfied with. So it's one thing for someone to be paying taxes, but more importantly, you need to go and see physically what is happening on the land. Because while you're trying to stop someone from paying the taxes, they are probably enjoying your land, living there, farming it for 12 years. And just by virtue of doing that, then they can go ahead and apply for the title. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Let's face it, these haven't been the best of times, but they aren't the worst of times either. At COK, we recognize that some of our members are finding it challenging navigating the new normal. But that's why we have initiated the COK Debt Amnesty. If you are having difficulties repaying your loans, come in, talk with us. Get a waiver of up to 100% of the penalties due. Call 764-1509 or email amnesty@cokcu.com. Conditions apply.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 17, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and the role of a diabetes educator and the impact of diabetes on women's health. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on eye, mouth, and foot care. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, 82 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 17 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related problems, concerns, issues, queries are dealt with. Here are the numbers to call. In fact, all the lines are available. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com. www.landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. If you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In fact, a lawyer is available every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Don't just turn up, though, for various reasons. One, we're still in a pandemic. And two, it would save you a trip or could save you a trip or two to call ahead and be advised as to what you will need and what you might need to take with you, etc. And then you make arrangements to visit the office at a particular time. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. 876-908-3518. There's a number for the Ocho Rios office as well. That's 876-974-6083. 876-974-6083. We have a caller for you, attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Findlay.
Hello, how may I help?
I purchased a piece of land about 15 years ago. It was two of us who purchased the land together. So we got it surveyed, and to get it subdivided, we had some problems from those times. Now, because I was having some problem with the Water Commission in getting it approved. So we start over, and it is now subdivided. And the other party went to get back his own survey over, because the survey told him that he would have to do that. So I would keep the mother title, and I would get that title, and you would have to build a title from it.
Yes.
So my other party, he took his diagram to the KCC where they told him to take it, and he took it there, and they told him that I need to take in mine, so that
You said he took it to the KSAC?
Yes, please.
Hello? Okay,
yes.
All right. And they said that I'm sorry, because it's just that the connection is really bad. So he took it to the KSAC, and now they're asking you to take in yours?
Yes, they say it would be better for me to take mine the same time he's taking it, because it would cost us 2 times. We'd have to pay for it 2 times, because you would have to pay and I would have to pay. But I would like to know if I could get the title without doing the survey and going to KSAC.
All right. Based on what you're saying to me, that person already has his diagram.
Yes.
So he would just now need to go to an attorney for them to use that diagram to make an application for his title.
Right.
Hello?
Yes, miss.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I don't think, and I would need some more information from you, but just based on how long you have been there,
yes,
I think you could have avoided subdivision. This person, you see, who has his diagram, has he had his piece for 15 years also?
Yes, it was one piece of land, and we bought it together and divided.
Yes. So that would be yes. Yeah, you both. I'm going to ask you to keep listening. I want to talk to you some more. You can call me in office tomorrow, but I don't think you need to go ahead with subdivision, because you can apply for a title directly. So you don't even need to go to KSAC just yet.
Yes.
You can apply for a title by virtue of having had the property for such a long time.
Okay.
And because there is already a title, a parent title,
yes,
you can get around doing subdivision.
Okay, but it is already.
Are you still there?
Yes, it is already subdivided. You know, it is already subdivided.
Yeah, but if you already have the subdivision and you have it's completely approved, I don't see why you need to go back to KSAC. So I want you to give me a call. Unless there's something I'm not getting, but once you have your subdivision approval, that's it. You're finished with KSAC. It's just now for an attorney to apply for the splinter title.
Okay.
Following me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so give me a call in office tomorrow, 876-908-1950.
Please repeat.
All right, thanks for calling. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-225. To call us in office, the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. Those numbers are 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. And again, the text and WhatsApp line for today is 876-881-5254. Over to WhatsApp. What information is needed to administer an estate and what is actually done? So an estate is administered when someone dies without a will. And we don't like to get too technical and use those big fancy words, but when someone dies without a will, we say that they die intestate. When you make a will, you die testate. So when you make a will, you probate the will. When someone dies without a will, the estate is administered. So by administration, the person who applies to administer the estate is called the administrator. That is the person who steps into the shoes of the deceased person. They become their personal representative and they apply to the court to say, all right, yes, I am this person's personal representative. The court will grant an order, and by virtue of that order, the person is entitled or empowered to distribute the deceased person's estate. So the requisite forms are completed, the administration documents, an attorney will prepare that for you. They are stamped and filed at the Supreme Court. The letters of administration are granted several months after, maybe 3 to 6 months, and I must commend the Supreme Court. Their processing times have improved significantly. Administration has been completed. Application is then made to the stamp office for the assessment and payment of estate duty. Once someone dies in Jamaica, you pay estate duty. If the estate is valued under $10 million, you get a zero assessment, so no estate duties are paid. If your estate is worth less than $10 million, if it's over $10 million, depending on the type of property you have and where it is, it's usually 1.5% of the value of the estate at the time of death. And let us say the person had a house. Administration is granted from the Supreme Court. Estate duties are paid at the stamp office. And the final step is to go ahead and then apply to the titles office to have the administrator's name put on the title and to transfer the property to the beneficiary. So a practical example, let's say a husband died without making a will. The law says his wife is the person entitled to apply for administration of the estate. And let's just say, for argument's sake, they had 5 children. The wife would be entitled to a half of his estate, and the children would be entitled to the remaining half of the estate. And let me just say this, because in this day and age, even in 2021, people still think that children born within a marriage are somehow more entitled or have a greater share in their parents' estate as opposed to children who are born outside of the marriage. So husband and wife have 2 children, but husband had 2 children either before, during the marriage, not with the wife. So in total, the wife would have 2 children. The husband has 4 children, 2 with the wife, 2 with someone other than the wife. So the husband has 4 children. Those 4 children are equally entitled to the husband's estate. Children born in the marriage do not have a greater right. So if you are listening and you are still of that thought, please divorce yourself from that. All children are entitled to share equally in an estate. Continuing with our messages, I've applied for a title and I'm waiting. Do I need to keep paying property taxes while I am waiting? Yes, of course. The fact that you have applied for the title means that there's a presumption that you are the owner. You just haven't got the paper title in your hand. So yes, of course, you are entitled, you are not entitled, you're obligated to continue paying the property taxes. And I will say this, the law that governs property taxes actually says that anyone who is occupying property is liable to pay the property taxes. So whether you are the owner, whether you are a squatter, whether you are a tenant, a licensee is someone who is just on the land for a particular purpose. Let's just say you operate a little stall on the land. Anyone on the land is obligated to pay property taxes. So let's just say the government is trying to find the landowner and they can't find them, but you are there squatting or you are there as the tenant. They can come to you, send you a summons, and require that you appear in court to pay the property taxes. So don't think that because your name isn't on the title, or because you are not the owner, or because you are squatting, means that you can be absolved of any responsibility for property taxes. You are equally entitled to pay the property tax, and especially you in this case. Just because you don't have your title yet doesn't mean that you should not continue paying taxes. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411225. The text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. And to call us in our Ocho Rios office, we'll be there this Thursday. That number is 876-974-6083. As always, you may email us, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Send us a message on Facebook. That's facebook.com/landsolutions. You can go ahead and visit the page and like it. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 17, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and the role of a diabetes educator and the impact of diabetes on women's health. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on eye, mouth, and foot care. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 17 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with a sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages. That number is 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center at the corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. A lawyer is on duty every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. And there's a number for the Ocho Rios office, 876-974-6083. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. We have some messages coming in on our Facebook page. My father and one of his sons are untitled. My father died recently. Who gets daddy's share? It will depend on how your father owned that land with his son. If your father owned the land with that son as joint tenants, then that son would be entitled to everything. Because when you own property with when you own property with someone as joint tenants, the rule is that the survivor takes everything. Two people entitled, one dies, the survivor gets everything. In a case like that, the surviving joint tenant, that son, your brother, would note your father's death. And upon the application to note death being completed, the title would then solely be in that brother's name. If your father owned the land with your brother as tenants in common, then your father's share, if your father made a will, would go to whoever he willed it to. If he did not make a will, it would go to the person who the law married and had 3 children in total. Your mother would be entitled to apply to administer your father's estate. In this case, he would own a half. So your mother would get a half of your father's half, and then your father's 3 children would then be entitled to the remaining half. So that son would already have his half. So he would essentially now have a half, and he would have a share in the other half. So as you can see, it can get quite complicated if someone does not make a will. And that's one of the many reasons why we urge persons to make a will. So your father's share would go to whoever, or let me start again. Depending on how your father owned it with this particular son, your father's share would be determined in that way. So joint tenancy, the son would get it. If they owned as tenants in common and your father made a will in accordance with what the will says. No will and they owned as tenants in common, the law would determine. Continuing with the messages on our Facebook page. How long can I wait before suing someone? Someone owes me money, but I want to give them some time to see if they will pay. Usually you have 6 years, and let me not say usually, you have 6 years from the time the debt arises before you can sue someone. If 6 years have passed and you try to sue the person, let's say in the 7th year, the court will throw the matter out and say it is statute barred, meaning you have run out of time. So do it within 6 years. I'm not sure how much time has passed, but more often than not, if someone owes you money and you're not hearing anything from them, they haven't taken any steps to contact you or to even make a part payment, chances are they probably won't. So you don't want to sit and wait too long and then run into problems, because the longer you wait, perhaps the more broke that person will be. So it's best to at least initiate an action in court and see what happens, because a lot of people believe and let me just say this, and that's the challenge. Let me say challenge sometimes with having a matter be resolved in court. Let's say somebody owes you $200,000. And it is clear, you have your evidence, you have your documentation, you have your agreement that you loan this person $200,000 and they agreed to pay you within a month and nothing. There's no disputing that. But when you go to court and you get a judgment, sometimes literally all you might end up with is just the judgment, the paper document in your hand. And a lot of people have that issue because the person may just not have the money at all. And it's going to be very challenging to get that money. The court sometimes in a case like that will order a means test. And if it means that all the person can afford to pay you is $5,000 a month, then so be it. The judge will order that they pay you $5,000 a month. So imagine someone owing you $200,000 and you're getting $5,000 a month. So don't wait too long. Do what you have to do. And sometimes too, once someone sees that you're serious, let's say you file an action in court and they're served with the court papers, that just may be the impetus, the motivation that they need to find your money. So please don't wait too long. Over to our WhatsApp line. Can you transfer land to a company? What documents do you need? Yes, you can transfer land to a company, and a company also can transfer land to a person. In law, a company is what we call a legal person. So it can own property, it can sue, it can be sued. When you're doing any land transaction, you will need the person's particulars: name, address, occupation, TRN. For a company, we also need their particulars: the company name, copies of the company documents, and the company's TRN. And that's simply it. That's all we need. And the documentation is prepared. Again, a company is a legal person, so it's as if one person is transferring to another. There's nothing magical about it. A company is a legal person. They can also own land. Is there any way to stop the bank from selling your house for outstanding mortgage payments? No. Only unless you go in and make some arrangements with them. Once you, and let me just say, Jamaican banks, I find, compared to banks in other jurisdictions, they take a while before they take that step to foreclosing on your property, meaning selling it because you are selling it because you're behind in your payments. So once a bank gets to that stage of selling your house because you are behind on your mortgage payments, it means that you possibly have significant arrears. And once it gets to that stage, the only way to really stop it is to settle the arrears. Or perhaps you can try renegotiating your loan, or refinancing, perhaps using another collateral. So if you can reduce your mortgage payments, extend the term of your loan. Sometimes though, once the loan gets to a particular state, once it's what the bank calls bad debt, they may not be willing to renegotiate. But technically, there's nothing you can do to stop them unless you settle their arrears. Oh, I'm sorry. The person also had a second part to their question. They say that they are paying the property taxes but have fallen behind on paying their mortgage. Property taxes and mortgage payments are two separate things. So it's all well and good that you are still paying your property taxes. You should. But the fact that you are paying your property taxes doesn't make a difference with respect to whether you are up to date with your mortgage payments or not. Two separate things. You should be paying both. I think I recall some time ago that someone had asked whether they still need to pay property taxes if they have a mortgage. And yes, you do. I think that person, for some reason, thought that property taxes were included in their mortgage payments. Two separate things. You have to pay your property taxes, and those are paid separately from your mortgage payments. So property taxes are paid to the government. Your mortgage payments are to the bank. I think we may have a call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Yes, my name is Dervan Edward.
Hello, do we have a... Hello?
Yes, my name is
we may have lost that call. Our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-41125. Text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. Let me try again. Do we have a call? Okay, I'll continue with our messages. Is a will valid with 3 witnesses. I know the law says 2. Yes, the will is valid with 3 witnesses. So you are correct. The law says for a will to be valid, it must have 2 witnesses. So if there are more than 2 witnesses, it doesn't invalidate the will. It doesn't make a difference though. So the third witness is considered redundant. So if you have 3 witnesses, the will is fine. Do we still have a call? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, I have
Afternoon, how may I help?
Yes, I have an issue with a house, but what is the problem is my son died about Monday or so on of a gun shooting. But we're living at this place for 20.
I'm so sorry.
I'm living here for 27 years, but we wanted to leave because we're already here. But we want to know what's the procedure, what we should do by living here for 27 years. We would like to receive a title for the land.
Are you paying rent?
No rent.
Hello?
No, I'm not paying any rent.
Let me just see if we can try with that caller again right after the break. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
The National Irrigation Commission Limited encourages efficient irrigation practices and responsible use of water. By doing so, we will allow the aquifer to be recharged and keep the supply flowing. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 17, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and the role of a diabetes educator and the impact of diabetes on women's health. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on eye, mouth, and foot care. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbour, St. Catherine. P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, 82 Old Harbour. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 17 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
For the final segment this afternoon, Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, but also your voice notes. And you can also visit the website, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is located in the Winchester Business Center, Suite 39 to be precise. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Do we still have that caller on the line?
So, hello?
Finley?
Hello.
Yes, he's still there.
Yes, Miss Finley, good afternoon.
Yes, afternoon. How may I help?
Yes, I was suggesting that I'm living at this place for 27 years. And
Okay, forgive me. You're the same person. It's just that it's so hard to hear. The connection is bad. So you said that you've been living there for 27 years, and I was asking you, have you been paying rent?
no rent at all. We live here, just living here and taking care of the place for 27 years.
Okay, and did you say that your son died recently?
Yes. So
Okay.
we're planning to move. So what we want to know a legal advice how we can go about knowing that we leave, lock up the place and go somewhere for a time or something. I don't know. We just wanted some advice how we do it.
All right, so the law says because you have been there for such a long time, you are entitled to apply for a title. But I understand the safety concerns that you may want to leave for a bit. So yes, you can go ahead and leave, but check on the property from time to time. You don't want to abandon it. And what you need to do is to get it surveyed, contact a surveyor and get it surveyed as soon as possible, because we would use that survey to make the title application for you. So start by doing that. And as soon as you have the survey diagram, give me a call so we can review the diagram and advise you further.
Okay, because I was hearing that you could put a caveat on it or something. I don't know what the caveat, what it means. So.
I'm so sorry. Dervan, can you help me out, please? I can't hear what you're saying. All right, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the producer take your number, and then I'll call you when I get off the air. All right? Just stand by. Again, our numbers to call in, 876-922-411225. Text and WhatsApp, 876-881-5254. If your mother marries a man when you were 6 years old and both have died, he has a son and my mother has 6 children. I was the one that they raised. Can the son sell the land behind my back? He shouldn't be, unless I don't know if his name is on the title. Send me some more information. Whose name is on the title? Let me start there. My father passed away. He didn't leave a will. The will is joint tenancy with my mother. My mother my mother left a will, but did not include dad's outside children. What can they do? Let me go again. My father passed away. He didn't leave a will. The title is joint tenancy with my mother. My mother left a will, not include dad's outside children. What can they do? In this case, they can't do anything. And let me tell you why. So your mother and father own this property as joint tenants. Your father has children outside of the marriage. Your father did not leave a will and he died first. Because they owned property as joint tenants, it wouldn't matter if your father had made a will, because once they owned as joint tenants, it's the surviving joint tenant who would be entitled to everything. And in this case, it is your mother who is the surviving joint tenant. Now that your mother has died, she has left a will, so she can will the property to anybody. So if she happened to will the property to her children, who are not your father's children, then that's fine. Because again, it's the survivor who's entitled to everything. If someone dies and they don't make a will, and if they don't have a wife or immediate relative, for example, children, who will be entitled to their estate? So there is a chain provided by law. So it starts with the spouse, the children, the parents, sisters, aunts, uncles. So you go all the way down. So in most cases, there is usually someone to apply for administration of the estate. If there is absolutely no one, not even a distant 10th cousin, then the person's property, the person's assets can go to the government. So again, that's one of the reasons why we encourage persons to make a will. I can't think of anybody who would want to know that after they have worked so hard for the little bit that they have, that after they die, their property would pass to the government. Another question too, people always wonder if the person who paid for their funeral expenses or the person who took care of them while they were sick, whether that person is entitled to a share in the estate, whether that person can be a beneficiary. No. Just by virtue of paying for someone's funeral expenses, taking care of them does not make you entitled to share in their estate. I bought land, but the owner died before I was able to get title. What can I do? How long ago did you buy the property? Have you paid for it in full? So let us say that there's a title, you paid for it in full. We could perhaps do what we call a vesting application, or we could try to make a direct application for the title. So send me a follow-up message. Let me know whether you paid in full. Is there already a title? Do you by any chance have a copy, or are you able to access that person's death certificate? My mother left her house to me and I'm trying my best to get to as many messages as possible. My mother left her house to me in the will, but she sold it before she died. Am I still entitled to the house? So mother wrote a will the house to her daughter. Before mother died, mother sold the house. The daughter wants to know if she's still entitled to the house. The answer is no. A will only comes into effect after someone dies. So let's say mother made her will in January, mother sold the house in March, and then mother died in November. That sale to whomever in March is a valid sale. Mother, while she's alive, goes without saying, but I still want to emphasize, is entitled to change her mind and is entitled to do whatever she wants with her assets, notwithstanding what she would have stated in her will. Many people still believe that once someone writes a will, that they automatically become the owner of the property while the person is alive. No, a will only comes into effect after the person dies. So, my dear, I'm sorry, no, you would not be entitled to anything. The house would have passed to a third party, and that would be the end of that for you with respect to the house. And let me just make a quick distinction. A will as opposed to a power of attorney. A will is only valid after the person dies. A power of attorney is only valid while the person is alive. And many of you may know a power of attorney is a document that where someone gives you the power, the authority to handle business, do things on their behalf. Many times people will come in and say, I have power of attorney for John Brown, I want to do this. I say, all right, fine, where is John Brown? I need to have a conversation with him. John Brown died a couple years ago. Power of attorney dies with you. So for those of you who are someone's attorney, in fact, that's what we call it when you have a power of attorney for someone and you're holding on to it after the person has died, it is no longer valid. I did a survey recently, and it shows that my neighbor's wall has been over on my boundary by about 1/2 foot for the entire length of the wall on one side. Can I get them to knock it down? All right. How long has it been like that? Because it's certainly going to be an expensive endeavor for them to knock it down based on what you're saying, if it's the entire length of the wall. If the wall, and in a case like this, let me just backtrack a little bit, where the wall has come over onto your property, it's what we call an encroachment. So an encroachment is, let's say you take up or you go over onto someone's side, someone's property. If the wall has existed like this for more than 7 years, the law says that it is to remain. The law says that because it's been there for 7 years, that person can now claim that section that they have encroached on. Not sure how long it has been like this. If it has not been like this for 7 years, then yes, you can have it taken down, but how much will that cost? Another option would be for them to buy it from you if it's within the 7 years. So you can get a valuer to come in, see how much that strip is worth. A surveyor would also need to come in, prepare a diagram for that strip of the land, and then they can use that strip to apply for a title and attach it to the bigger portion. So there are options. So the starting point, though, is how long has it been like that? If it's been like that for more than 7 years, they're entitled to it. If it's for less than 7 years, you are still entitled to claim back your land. So they can either buy it from you, or you can knock it down if that's not going to be too expensive, and then have it rebuilt along the boundary. Thanks as always for tuning in for Land Solutions. That's all the time I have for today. Once again, I've been your host for today. I've been your host for today, Calicia Finley. Feel free to keep your questions coming. Take care and all the best.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency, 6:30.
The Scientific Research Council Conversations in Science series is designed to engage and sensitize the public, students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, and experts in the fields of science and technology. On November 19, recognized as International Men's Day, the SRC will host the 4th staging of its virtual series under the theme Men of Science Leading the Way, creating a better world for our men and boys, with the hashtags Men in Science and Better Role Models for Boys.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Mowing Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks, and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and much more. Check out the new arrivals of ties at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Mowing Madness sale at Home and Things, Wallop Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you think we're going insane?
Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Croskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM.
I have a dream.
I still have a dream.
That someday
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
I have a dream that someday this will be a better land. Baby, you can see the meaning. Baby, you can see the dream. But I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream.
I have a dream that someday we will all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday this is going to be a better
with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, coming to you live from home in quarantine for a couple of days, and we will see where we go from there. In the meantime, Thanks once again to those of you who have joined us on today's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106. I was watching online yesterday while in, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday in Florida. What time was this? Just after 10 o'clock in the morning, watching and listening to the latest announcement of states of emergency blanketing the West, the East, and I'm just trying to remember the other areas, but you get the picture. And as usual, a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, a lot of concerns with respect to where this will all end up. We're always happy and anxious to hear from you. We started out this afternoon with the poetry of the great Langston Hughes, who asks the question, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? And we paired that with Solomon Burke's I Have a Dream. Still have a dream, a better Jamaica, a better tomorrow, as Etana sings. Let's greet those who have joined us before we move on. Always like to acknowledge our faithful listeners at home and abroad. Keisha Salmon, it is clear, I think we've dealt with this before, a combination of Kirk and Keisha, for example, possibly. Kirkisha Salmon, good afternoon. Dainty Walker, welcome. Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis, where do you find the time to be online with us this afternoon after all that work you've been doing, which culminated with the inaugural Jamaica Diaspora Southern USA Hall of Fame? Well done, Dr. Rose. She says, on behalf of JADIAS, that's the Jamaica Diaspora Southern USA, we thank you and your team, to include Lorna Lewis, Nicarno Williams, Kingston Wharves, Auntie Faye, and Steve Higgins for doing such a great job. I'm humbled, she says. Ranny Bell is in St. Thomas. Good afternoon, Ranny Bell. Albert Lewis, the other half of Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, says, Sir D, please big up Lorna and Nicarno. They did a wonderful job in making the broadcast the success that it was. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear the accolades. Thank you very much, Albert Lewis, for your work in making this weekend the memorable weekend that it was. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon. Delia Palmer, hello. Jeannie Chambers, Velta Wilson is in St. Thomas. Sophia Nemard is in Newell, St. Elizabeth. Nicola is in Mandeville, Manchester. Good afternoon to you. Oops, technically speaking, no. She's not in Mandeville, Manchester, but let's just say she is somewhere in central Jamaica. How about that? Let's continue with our program. Sanjay Sinanon on YouTube. Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon, Sanjay. And from Q Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. Good afternoon to you. And it's good to be back. Thank you very much. Donovan Campbell, good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you on board. And greetings on behalf of the listeners and viewers at home and abroad. Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best. Covered everybody for now. Oops. Let's not forget there's a text line which doubles as a WhatsApp number. And I'm seeing some 21 messages. Well, let's sift through. Let's see what we find here. This one from Dr. Rene Zazu says or asks, does our PM realize that the 10% increase is not economic growth, but in murders? No. I was fired after one day in my last job as a professor, but it seems his grading is off. My grade is F, very poor, abject failure, soft on crime, and soft on the causes of crime. That's Dr. Rene Zazu's response to the latest announcements by the Prime Minister with respect to states of emergency. Also online, let's see, who's this now? Let's go to Glacier. Good day to you, Glacier. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ambassador Curtis Ward. And hello to Jennifer McDonald. Going down the line here, lots of messages. Who's this now? Someone wants me to call, but I don't know who this is. Oh, I'm seeing the picture now. All right, I'll get around to that eventually. And for those who have been following the international news, there's a story out of the United Kingdom. Not sure. Let's see if we can bring this up. I'm trying to bring up the audio. All right, we'll come back to that. But the story is Liverpool Women's Hospital explosion. Man killed, named as Ahmad al-Swelmeen. Ahmad al-Swelmeen. The man killed in an explosion outside Liverpool Women's Hospital has been named by police as 32-year-old Ahmad al-Swelmeen. He was a passenger in a taxi when his homemade bomb exploded shortly before 11 o'clock this morning. That's UK time, which at that time most of us were just about getting up. That's 6 o'clock this morning, Jamaica time. The driver of that taxi, David Perry, escaped before the car caught fire and has since been discharged from hospital. The UK terror threat level has been raised to severe, and 4 men have been arrested under the Terrorist Act. Officers believe al-Swelmeen lived at the house of Sutcliffe, a house in Sutcliffe Street in the Kensington area of Liverpool, where counter-terrorism police officers carried out raids earlier. Police said he had recently rented an address in Rutland Avenue near Sefton Park in the city, which has also been searched by officers. Al-Swelmeen is believed to have manufactured and brought the device into the taxi. Police said he was picked up from the Rutland Avenue area and asked to be taken to the hospital about 10 minutes away before the bomb exploded. He's not believed to have been known to MI5, according to BBC security correspondent Gordon Pereira. On Sunday, 3 men aged 21, 26, and 29 were arrested under the Terrorism Act after being detained in Kensington. A 4th man, aged 20, was also arrested in the same area of Liverpool under the Terrorism Act earlier. Where are we still there? Well, these terrorists tell us that they only need to get it right, which means the rest of us must get it right every time. Frightening, isn't it? Because when they get it right once, people die. Therefore, the onus is on us to continue to be vigilant, not to let down, be too quick to let down our guard. We have all been contending with COVID-19, this unseen threat to humanity. But there are other threats, man-made threats. As we always say, man must be protected from himself. That's why we have rules, regulations, systems, processes, laws, ordinances. There's a reason for that, to protect man from himself. We hope that this is not the start of another series of similar incidences or incident. I caught between instances and incidents. Yeah. So that is the main story that the BBC is leading with at this time. And let's see now. Nicola is sharing a story with us from the Gleaner. Oh no. Oh dear. Reigning Issa Ben Francis Cup champions, BB Cook High School, have been criticized for their 20-0 win over newcomers Mount St. Joseph High School in their opening Issa da Costa Cup match on Saturday. However, head coach Kemar Ricketts said there was not much he could have done differently, as his boys were prepared and excited to play the game on its merit. There was a principal of Jamaica College, we've shared that story, that bit of history before on this program, who punished the members of the JC football team for punishing another team in terms of the number of goals. So I think it was a similar scoreline. The JC principal at the time scolded the members of his football team to say, how could you? That's not good sportsmanship. That's more like gamesmanship in a skewed way. And he gave it to those boys years ago. Not sure how many people listening now remembers that. Remember that, but we have shared that bit of history before, and here we are in 2021, and the reigning Issa Ben Francis Cup champions BB Cook High School have been criticized for their 20-0 win over newcomers Mount St. Joseph High School in their opening Issa da Costa Cup match on Saturday. What do you think? Just consider it all in the game? Or, well, Jimmy Adams had an ad. It's all in the milk, all in the game. Goodness. Do we teach our young sportsmen and sportswomen to be sportsman-like and sportswoman-like, which would then result in some kind of pullback on their part, as if to ease up on their opponents? Or is it fair game to let the game take its course? You may or may not have an opinion on that, and you may or may not decide to share. Oops, we're past the break. I'm sorry. Let's go to the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:48 on Power 106.
The Scientific Research Council Conversations in Science series is designed to engage and sensitize the public. students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, and experts in the fields of science and technology. On Friday, November 19, recognized as International Men's Day, the SRC will host the fourth staging of its virtual series under the theme Men of Science Leading the Way, creating a better world for our men and boys, with the hashtags Men in Science and Better Role Models for Boys.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 17, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and the role of a diabetes educator and the impact of diabetes on women's health. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on eye, mouth, and foot care. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbour, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbour. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 17 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Baby, you can see me meaning. Baby, you can see me dreaming. But I'm sure someday you'll understand.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, broadcasting from home. Yes, indeed, in quarantine, having just returned from Florida. What a spectacular weekend it was in Florida. Looking forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The numbers to call 876-922-4112-5. We gave you the big story coming out of the UK, the big story coming out of the USA. President Biden holds signing ceremony for bipartisan infrastructure bill. That's what's happening now. And we see President Biden accompanied by his Vice President Kamala Harris and another official with flags billowing in the wind. I believe those are the state flags. And a windy day on the lawns of the White House. And let's see if we can get a bit of this story for you. Vice President Kamala Harris.
President Joe Biden, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Cabinet members, Congress members, governors and mayors, and my fellow Americans. This is an historic day. In the middle of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln started construction on the Transcontinental Railroad. In the middle of the Great Depression, President Franklin Roosevelt finished construction on the Hoover Dam. President Dwight Eisenhower signed the National Interstate and Defense Highways Act in the middle of the Cold War. And today, President Joe Biden will sign the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act into law. Indeed, it is an historic day today. From the very start of our administration, we were determined to follow through, not just on our promise to invest in our nation's infrastructure, but on the promises that the American people have heard for years now. And we would not be here today were it not for your leadership, Mr. President. From the very start, you welcomed Democrats, independents, and Republicans to meet with us in the Oval Office. You welcomed ideas. You welcomed debate, all in the service of getting this bill done. And here is what I know to be true, Mr. President. You are equal parts believer and builder. And because you are, we are all better off. On behalf of our nation, thank you, Mr. President. And of course, our administration did not arrive at this day by ourselves. We are also here because of leaders in the House and the Senate who worked on this bill together, who voted for this bill. And we are here because of the millions of Americans who believed that we could get this done. Well, we got it done, America. We got it done. In many ways, this day embodies our character as a nation. It demonstrates exactly who we are. We are believers through and through. We see what can be unburdened by what has been. We are as bold as we are determined to do big things. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act proves that. It proves that in America, we have the courage to believe a better future is possible and to build it together. After this bill is signed into law, millions more Americans will go to work paying good union jobs. Americans like Jovan Johnson, a carpenter I met in Nevada, who said that she has, quote, built a career on infrastructure and fed her family on infrastructure. Americans like Jeff Bird, a line design technician I met with in New Hampshire. He attaches fiber to utility poles to keep up with the demand for high-speed internet. Or Leslie Kilgore, an engineer I met with in North Carolina, whose team is building electric school buses. Or Walter Cody, a construction inspector with whom I met, who is working to get clean water to families in California. This will be a nationwide effort, the likes of which we have not seen in a generation. It will make our country more competitive, and it will deliver on our nation's and our administration's commitment to equity. Now, this bill, as significant as it is, as historic as it is part one of two. To lower costs and cut taxes for working families, to tackle the climate crisis at its core, Congress must also pass the Build Back Better Act. The work of building a more perfect union did not end with the railroad or the interstate, and it will not end now. So on this historic day, let us all continue to believe in our people, believe in our country, and believe in what we can do when we work together. Thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless America.
Kamala Harris, the U.S. Vice President, speaking ahead of the signing ceremony for the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is likely to create a windfall in so many ways, not least of all right here in Jamaica, considering how many of us have family members, friends, colleagues in the United States who will be benefiting from some of those job opportunities and related areas of positive possibilities. And so we wish the effort well, and let's see how that unfolds. In the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Inez Ayona. Thank you very much. Donovan says, Mr. Malcolm, lovely background with those action books. Thank you very much, Donovan. and some other messages. Blessed child. What did she say? She's thank you very much for your kind compliment with respect to the program. Thank you very much for listening attentively. Sammy Joe says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm, listening from Manchester, UK. Welcome, Sammy Joe. Good to have you on board. Darrell Richards, aka Tony. Oh, he needs the number to dial from the United Kingdom. Oh, I think you needed it earlier on for Land Solutions. Sorry about that, Darrell Richards. Don't know if you're still listening, but either way, we're going to copy and paste that number in your WhatsApp. How about that? Let's do that for you. Sorry, we didn't get around to doing it earlier. So we're going to do that now to copy the UK number. For those who'd like to dial a number, those in the UK would like to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM. Let's ensure that, where is he? Darrell? Right. Let's ensure that Darrell gets the number. So we're pasting it right now from the UK dial. All right, let's do this. Right. Sorry about that, Darrell, but now you have the number. Feel free to use it up. That's the listening number for those in the UK. Jason, this says Jason Royalty, listening from Mandeville. Welcome, Jason Royalty, listening from Mandeville. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for making it. Both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Soul J in Massachusetts. He says, greetings, Sir D, and all tuned in. Blessed love to you too, Soul J in Massachusetts. Andrew McPherson from St. Thomas is greeting us. Welcome, Andrew McPherson. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And all the others who are tuned in. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to serve you on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Let's catch up on the very latest. Seeing quite a few messages popping up and having to sift through, and we're doing our best after the break.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
401 on Power 106.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Moen Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all Moen faucets, sinks and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and much more. Check out the new arrivals of tiles at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Moen Madness sale at Home and Things, Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you'll think we're going insane.
That someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday for our children this will be a better land. Now maybe you can't see my meaning, and you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and learn to dream. Sing it with me. Oh, my dream come true for me and for you. Dream the impossible dream. I have a dream.
With us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Whatever is on your mind, please feel free to share. 876-922-4112 to 5. Some stories down the years. 2007, on this day in 2007, the Gleaner was reporting Jamaicans will go to the polls for the second time in 3 months when they vote in the local government election, which is set for Wednesday, December 5. Let's take a quick music break and come back.
Someday, this is going to be a better land. Maybe you can't see my meaning, you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It'll all be better if we get it together and dream. Oh, how sweet the words love and peace sound to our ears. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say these words, not enough are sincere. Oh, the words of freedom, liberty stands out in my soul and my mind. Tears come to my eyes when I realize justice is blind. Oh, I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that some way for our children this will be a better land. Now maybe you can't see my meaning and you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and learn to dream. Sing it, baby. Oh, my dream come true.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Hello to Miss Pearl. Pearl Brown says, Sir D, welcome back. May you continue to be blessed. I'm sending prayers for the Reggae Boys. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. And to Theodore Whitmore, she says, thank you, Pearl Brown, for your message. All the very best to you. And let's see who else is messaging us. So we were sharing with you a bit of history. This day in 2007, the Gleaner reported that Jamaica would go to the polls for the second time in 3 months, vote in the government election, which was set for Wednesday, December 5. Nomination day was scheduled for Monday, the 19th of November. Prime Minister Bruce Golding made the announcement previous night at his West Kingston constituency conference in Tivoli Gardens. In 2004, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, was set to probe the rebate list being published by the Jamaica Public Service, APS, after glaring errors were discovered in the catalogue of more than 100,000 customers who were owed nearly $290 million. Also on this day, 2003, Deputy Leader of the Jamaica Labour Party Area Council 3, Audley Shaw, under pressure for his late hour decision to oppose Senator Bruce Golding in the race for chairmanship of the party on Sunday, November 23. There was speculation that he had pulled out of the race. So Mr. Shaw made it clear on this day in 2003 that he was still in the race. 2002, residents in sections of Hanover celebrated the previous day's police killing of two men who allegedly robbed and murdered a businessman in Lucy, then engaged the lawmen in a high-speed car chase and gun battle. A third man was held and chopped to death by the residents. Some of these issues are still very much with us. Crime, violence, not going anywhere anytime soon, apparently. On this day in 2001, Prime Minister P.J. Patterson collapsed as he addressed hundreds of people at a live and direct town meeting at the Portmore Community College in southwest St. Catherine. In 1999, Jamaicans battened down and rushed to stock up on emergency food supplies as Tropical Storm Lenny strengthened into a hurricane and swirled closer to the island. The National Meteorological Service said Lenny had the potential of producing rainfall in the range of 100 to 200 millimeters per day, and as a result, widespread flooding was expected, especially across southern parishes. The hurricane warning and storm watch were lifted. 1998, the Prime Minister, P.J. Patterson, announced that members of Parliament seeking salary increases would not be accommodated anytime soon. According to Mr. Patterson, while he would like to see MPs better paid, it cannot be at the expense of the poor and desolate. 1994, the transfer of ownership of Air Jamaica from the government of Jamaica to the Air Jamaica Acquisition Group was completed on this day in 1994, giving birth to what was then described as the new Air Jamaica. Together with the Air Jamaica Acquisition Group, Gordon Butch Stewart paid $37.5 million for 70% of the carrier. Butch Stewart held a majority interest of 46% and was named chairman of Air Jamaica. Let's go to 1988. Retired English attorney Edward Moulton Barrett presented $7,000 towards the archaeology program of the University of the West Indies. Speaking at the presentation ceremony at the Terra Nova Hotel, Mr. Moulton Barrett said the funds would go towards the purchase of a four-wheel drive vehicle to be used in the archaeology field program. Prior to this presentation in 1988, Mr. Moulton Barrett had made an earlier donation of $750,000, which made possible the establishment of a lectureship in archaeology at the University of the West Indies. Edward Moulton Barrett had family connection to Jamaica dating back to the 17th century. The first Barrett to come to the island settled in Vere, Clarendon in 1660, and the family later established large estates on the north coast of Jamaica. Mr. Moulton Barrett's father was commandant of the Jamaica Home Guard and Custos of St. Anne from 1944 to 49. And what time is it? We're not going to miss another time signal. I think we're too comfortable here at home as opposed to being in the studios of Power 106 FM. Let's see. On this day in 1971, more than 100 University of the West Indies students at the Mona campus in St. Andrew built a bonfire and burned their gowns in front of the registry building where the new Chancellor, Sir Hugh Wooding, and Lady Wooding were hosting a reception for members of the faculty and staff. The demonstration was to protest the refusal by the administration to allow Guild President Mervyn Chung to deliver the Guild's message at the installation of the Chancellor 2 days earlier without wearing his gown, the use of which had been condemned by students and was regarded as infringing on the rights of students. And let's see another one here. On this day in 1977, the State Trading Corporation, a government-owned holding company with a monopoly on importation of items consumed in sufficiently large quantities to warrant bulk purchasing, was established with the objective of lowering costs, saving foreign exchange, and providing a cheaper, well, let's get ready to go to the break and come back to that. But this is just an indication of where we're coming from in terms of government trying to manage costs on behalf of the people. Some people call it price control. This was 1977. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
The Scientific Research Council Conversations in Science series is designed to engage and sensitize the public, students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, and experts in the fields of science and technology. On Friday, November 19, recognized as International Men's Day, the SRC will host the 4th staging of its virtual series under the theme Men of Science Leading the Way, Creating a Better World for Our Men and Boys, with the hashtags Men in Science and Better Role Models for Boys.
Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Crosskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM. The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the added danger of variants, has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up now. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. The storm's getting treated. Just said, don't you worry. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream.
I have a dream that someday we will all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday This is going to be a better land. Maybe you can't see my meaning, and you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream.
Ahora es en español, son las 4:19. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:19. 现在地点了4点19分. 19 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House. Oops, that usually happens, eh? No, this is my house. 19 minutes past 4 o'clock here in my home office and library somewhere in Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? And children, students, have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. Right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Before the break, we were using the opportunity to share some history. Now, we've been hearing questions as to whether, in light of the price increases due to logistics issues in terms of transporting goods, and the fact that a significant percentage, more than 60%, I believe, of the items in our basic food basket are imported. And so the thinking was, what can be done now to minimize the impact of higher food prices on our people? Well, 1977, what was being done was the establishment of the state, as in the government trading corporation, which was a government-owned holding company with a monopoly of importation of items which are consumed in sufficiently large quantities to warrant bulk purchasing. So the common things that Jamaicans used to consume, food items back then, based on the quantities, the volume of those, or volumes of those products, those items, those food items, this government entity would then purchase the items in bulk with the objective of lowering costs, saving foreign exchange, and providing a cheaper basic needs basket, which we now call the basic food basket, to consumers. So whatever the majority of the people of Jamaica were consuming, depending on the volume of the consumption, the government would engage in bulk purchasing of those food items with a view to lowering the cost of those items. The first chairman of that organization, of that state trading corporation, was O.K. Melhedo, and the managing director was Dexter Rose. Another bit of our history there. Let's move on. This is Science and Technology Month. And on this day in 1967, the Jamaica Association of Scientists was founded and a tentative constitution adopted at a meeting at the Scientific Research Council, SRC. And that constitution was adopted by its 22 foundation members. Dr. L.J. Haynes of the Faculty of Natural Sciences, University of the West Indies, was elected president, and Dr. R.N. Gonzalez, technical director of the Scientific Research Council, the secretary. On this day in 1968, Air Jamaica started recruiting the first 50 stewardesses for its international flights. It was projected to come into operation the following year, 1969. Applicants, here were the requirements. Listen up for the requirements to becoming a stewardess of Air Jamaica, otherwise known as a flight attendant. First of all, applicants must be single girls between the ages of 19 and 25 and from 5 feet 2 inches to 5 feet 8 inches in height. Those were the basic criteria for those seeking to become one of the first flight attendants for Air Jamaica. 1968 going into 69. What a thing. These days, some of those, well, especially the one about must be single, these days the lawyers would be on your case because that would be considered discrimination. Wasn't so back then. Let's see. On this day in 1966, an Earth satellite receiving station was installed on the grounds of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston, St. Andrew, to provide guests in its 350 rooms with color television. What a thing. Can you imagine those of us who take it for granted these days? Back then, color TV was a big thing. Color TV, yes, man. And so this Earth satellite receiving station was installed on the grounds of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston, St. Andrew, to provide guests in its 350 rooms with color television. The JBC TV was still transmitting television programs in black and white. Yes, indeed. What a thing. And look at where we are now. We can watch TV from our smartphones. We don't even need to have this big thing. And of course, we remember the big back TVs, right? Yeah. Well, we still have one. Well, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's still showing as good as ever and no problems. It even has picture in picture. However, when we have to lift it up, we dread having to move it. It is heavy compared with these smart TVs, one of which I'm monitoring what's happening in Washington right now on via CNN. Very light. These TVs these days are very light. You just put them under your arm and carry them, basically, just like that. Technology, technology, technology. And as we said, you don't even need to have a TV. Your phone is everything these days. It's your entertainment device. It's your business device. It's your marketing device. It's everything all in one. And the developers knew exactly what they were doing. Because if they created a smartphone or smartphones with something for everyone, then it means there will always be eyes trained on the device. And those eyes capture, they have now the data that will tell us what you are, where your interests lie. And based on that, you are sent email messages or when you go online. So if you were looking at Jamaican made shoes, for example, online, and that was today. Tomorrow, you turn on your computer or whatever other smart device you have, and the first thing that will pop up, Jamaican made shoes, because they realize that's where your interest lies. So be careful which sites you go to and what you search for, because that is going to tell us something about you, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Such is the nature of the technology these days. So this thing about people being afraid, for example, of all kinds of things. People are scared of everything these days, not least of all vaccination, not least of all, there are all kinds of theories out there, but people don't realize that just by virtue of having one of these devices called a smart device, say a smartphone, you'd be amazed at how much information the rest of the world has on you, on us, all of us, just by virtue of connecting. There's a reason why it's called the World Wide Web. It is a web. And once you get caught in the web, you could delete until you're blue, delete your accounts here and there. You can't erase the history. You were there, you were a part of it. And there will still be remnants, traces. So there's no such thing as a true delete. So like a true deletion of something. It's there in the clouds. It's in the clouds. Beware. Oh, no. Well, we're not into paranoia. We accept what the situation is, global, and we press on. More in a moment.
Just as it blind.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Our family and friends are a big part of who we are. And when it comes to keeping you connected to them, Grace Kennedy Money Services Western Union makes it safer and easier. Now friends and family overseas can use the Western Union app or westernunion.com to send money directly to your bank account without leaving home. Receive a Western Union money transfer directly into your bank account with a direct-to-bank service. Register online at gkmsonline.com and share your banking details with your sender so you don't have to leave home to collect.
The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic with the added danger of variants has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up, no. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. The storm's getting dreary. Just said, don't you worry. I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday we'll be a better man. My dream, can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. Oh, baby, you will get it together and dream. Oh, how sweet the words love and peace sound to our ears. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say not enough for sense.
Ahora es en español. Son las 5 menos 27. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 27. 现在 TDN 了5点 Cha R Shir Chi Fen. 27 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House. There I go again. No, at my house, not Broadcast House. We're at home in quarantine. It's 27 minutes to 5 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Today is a significant day in the history of Kingston. And let's just go to the source and pull for you one of these books. This is, so we have from 1802 to 2002, and from 1802 to 2006. So the first mayor of Kingston was elected in 1802. 1802. And let's tell you who that was. Let's skip around to the list of mayors. All right, I think we're getting there. So the first, there's 1802, mayors of Kingston, right. So the first mayor of the newly declared city, Colonel John Jacques of St. Andrew. Now that the Jacques is French, spelled Jacques. In Jamaica, we said Jakes, like Jake's Road. So we wonder if that's how Jake's Road got its name. Because the first mayor, and let's see if we can hold up this picture to the camera. Let's see. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube, can you see him? Hold on. There we go. Yes, that's the man. The first mayor of Kingston, who was elected on this day. First mayor of Kingston, elected on this day in 1802. 1802. It was on this day. Yes, that's what we said. On this day in 1802. There's a lot of history there. And let's see. Let's just skip around quickly. Let's do that. And that. Extraordinary. Yeah. So that's the 15th of November, 1802. Colonel John Jacques of St. Andrew was elected the first mayor of the newly declared city on this day in 1802. So that's a bit of the history. And the occasion marked the first elections held at the courthouse, corner of Harbour Street and Hanover Street. 25 members were elected, including John Jacques, who became the first mayor of the city. And you have an idea of how old the city is. And they'll tell you it's a city that hath foundation. A city that hath foundation. So the city of Kingston is about, 213 or so years old, I believe. And the town of Kingston, perhaps more than 320 years old. And the capital, Kingston as the capital of Jamaica. more than 140 years old. So a lot of history there, and we're happy to be able to share some of that history with you, going through the records. St. Andrew Parish Church was established in 1664. Colonel Samuel Barry obtained a patent to 530 acres of land on the waterfront of St. Andrew Parish. That was 1665. 1692, Port Royal, the commercial capital of the British West Indies, on June 7 was destroyed by an earthquake while the Island Assembly was in session there. Survivors fled to Colonel Barry's Hog Crawl, which was owned by William Beeston. That's why we have a Beeston Street in downtown Kingston. And William Beeston became governor of Jamaica up to, well, he served up to 1701. And then on the 21st of July, 1692, the Island Assembly created the town of Kingston. The town of Kingston, which means the town of Kingston is about 323 years old. And then on the 16th of August, 1692, dispossessed Port Royal citizens met at the home of Mrs. Ann Lauder in Kingston for lots, which determined allotments in the new town. By 1693, Kingston was declared a parish. Kingston declared a parish in 1693, which means that they, I think do I have that one on my list in terms of the parish? Yeah, established back in 1693. 1693. A lot of history, a lot of ground to cover in that regard, and perhaps another time we'll share the rest of it with you. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call if you wish to add or take away from anything we've shared so far, or if you have something else on your mind, feel free to share with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, on Power 106 FM. The Baptist minister and abolitionist William Knibb died on this day in 1845. William Knibb was the son of Thomas and Mary Knibb of Kettering in Northamptonshire. His father was a tradesman in that town and not a professor of religion. His mother, whose maiden name was Dexter, was a member of the Independent Church in Kettering. William Knibb was the fifth of 8 children and a twin whose other half was a sister. He was born on the 6th of September 1803. He was described as not remarkable for application, but he was quick and clever at his lessons. On the 5th of October 1824, William Knibb was united in marriage to Mary Watkins. A month later, on the 5th of November, they both set sail on board the Ocean. That's the name of the vessel, the Ocean. They set sail for Jamaica, West Indies. The Ocean arrived in sight to Jamaica early in the morning of Saturday, the 12th of February. The passengers of the Ocean left for Kingston. William Knibb was sent specifically to take charge of a Baptist school in Kingston, which his deceased brother had charge of. His service as a preacher was employed early after he arrived in Jamaica. Due to the deterioration of his wife's health in 1825, William Knibb moved to Port Royal, a cooler climate, where he reopened the place of worship his brother had presided over. Knibb was also ministered in Kingston and was instrumental in bringing the Baptist churches in Kingston together to form an association in 1826. He was chosen secretary of the Jamaica Baptist Union. It is claimed that William Knibb's greatness began with the 1831 insurrection instigated by a native Baptist leader, Samuel Sharp, although he knew nothing of the planned rebellion until about 2 days before. He was arrested and before the court to give evidence against him. Won the case, but was harassed on all sides by the authorities because of his anti-slavery stance. William Knibb succumbed to the deadly yellow fever approximately 1 a.m. Saturday, November 15, 1845, at the age of 42. He was ill for only 1 short week. His wife and 2 daughters survived him. Usain Bolt's alma mater, William Knibb High School, is a tribute to abolitionist William Knibb. And I think we're going to leave it there for the time being in terms of the history, even as we're greeting those of you who are joining us. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle is enjoying the program. Thank you very much. She says, awesome books behind you. Blue Ocean Shift. I read the Blue Ocean Theory in graduate school and published a review in a healthcare journal. We're happy to hear that, Robledo Black Pearl Michelle. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Stay safe. Same to you, Faye Weller. Arnett Morgan is in, where is she again? She's in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Arnett Morgan. Bonjour to you and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in Quebec, Canada. More in a moment.
Be better if we get it together and dream.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:46.
The Scientific Research Council Conversations in Science series is designed to engage and sensitize the public, students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, and experts in the fields of science and technology. On Friday, November 19th, recognized as International Men's Day, the FP will host the 4th staging of its virtual series under the theme Men of Science Leading the Way, creating a better world for our men and boys, with the hashtags Men in Science and Better Role Models for Boys.
The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the added danger of variants, has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up, no. We put up a fight, we got to be ready. The storm's getting treated. Just said, don't you worry. You can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and learn to dream. I have a dream.
Sing it with me. Oh, my dream come true for me and for you. Dream, the impossible dream.
I have a dream.
I still have a dream.
That someday
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
I have a dream that someday this will be a better land. Baby, you can see my meaning. Baby, you can see my dream. But I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream.
I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday this is going to be a better land. Maybe you can't see my meaning, you can't see my dream.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:10. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h moins 10. Hiện tại, thời gian là Wu Dien Cha Shi Fen. 10 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at home, in my home office and library. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? And speaking of productivity, can we remind ourselves of the definition of productivity? Well, my favorite definition of productivity. Productivity is, above all, a state of mind. It is an attitude that seeks the continuous improvement of what exists. It is a conviction that one can do better today than yesterday, and that tomorrow will be better than today. Furthermore, it requires constant efforts to adapt economic activities to ever-changing conditions and the application of new theories and methods. It is a firm belief in the progress of humanity. That's the definition, well, my favorite definition of productivity. Above all, a state of mind. It is an attitude that seeks the continuous improvement of what exists. It is a conviction that one can do better today than yesterday, and that tomorrow will be better than today. Furthermore, it requires constant efforts to adapt economic activities to ever-changing conditions and the application of new theories and methods. It is a firm belief in the progress of humanity. Good afternoon to Violet White. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you? Oliver Masters says your library is awesome, Daddy. Most of my books I have given away with a small amount left. Well, nothing is wrong with giving them away, especially if you give them away to people who will take care of them in more ways than one, especially reading them. Yes. Thank you very much for your message. And let's go now to a bit of information that came in. This is we're being reminded that the 2022 census is coming soon, April 2022. Should be fascinating to see how we go about collecting that data. But let's look now at the international merchandise trade. And if you think this has nothing to do with you, just check your shopping bill or your supermarket, your grocery bill, whatever you call it. Here's the international merchandise trade update as at July 2021. Total spending on imports and earnings from exports increased during January to July this year. So we've been spending between January and July 2021. We've been spending more. We've been spending more on imports, and we've been earning more from exports. Spending on imports and earning from exports. Those two increased. The spending on imports have gone up. The spending on imports has gone up. It's the spending that is the subject. The spending on imports has gone up. And the earnings from exports have increased. And this is the January to July 2021 period relative to the similar period in 2020. And this is the latest information from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. Imports for the period amounted to $3,239.6 million US dollars. That's our import bill. $3,239.6 million US dollars. That's an increase of 19.7% when compared to $705.8 million US dollars in 2020. The Statin tells us that this upward movement was mainly attributable to higher imports of fuels and lubricants. Did you hear that? We're importing the upward movement. The upward movement of the imports was mainly attributable to higher imports of fuels and lubricants. That means we have, well, the last time I checked, it was about 550,000 or so motor vehicles on our roads. So it's a possibility that that number is moving up.